And now, streaming out of Northeast Ohio, representing marks, drunks, and a little bit of kayfabe, AIW Fan Club. It's wrestling and podcasting, previewing and reviewing all motherfucking day. People of the world, I give to you wrestling fucking cheers.
Taking your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, especially when the doctor is in. This is Wrestling Cheers. We like to talk about things going on in the Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. This is a preview for this Saturday's show from AIW, The Doctor is In. I'm your host, Justin Summers, and Wrestling Cheers is brought to you by the Trending Topics Network and Midwest Territory. Please rate, review, and subscribe your ever listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com, and we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said, this is a preview for this Saturday show from AIW. The Doctor is in from Akron, Ohio, the Tadmor Shrine. We're back again. And speaking about being back again, we got Charly Butters.
Hey-yo!
How do you, stop doing a podcast, but then, continue to do this one?
Dude, I do, so much shit. It's ridiculous. If you catch my grift every other week, then I edit IWTV Guide every week, and then somehow I do this every week now. At least most weeks. So, I somehow can't, retire off my podcast, now do your podcast and another podcast, which has a Patreon that is already a weekend driving me crazy because I have to edit so much new stuff, which is awesome. But at the same time, making me question why I did this, but
Yeah, that's I felt like that was me 5-6 years ago of just doing so many podcasts in a week and everything and editing them and all that kind of fun stuff. Now I'm down to just this and then getting paid to edit the other one, known as Pod Van Dam, which this will be the first week of consistently playing where Pod Van Dam's going to be releasing the same day every week as Wrestling Cheers. So listen to how I edit things 2 different ways.
It's a 1-2 punch. There you go.
Yeah.
Back-to-back shows to listen to on Thursdays.
I edit them both, but I'm only in one. And that's fine with me. I don't need to be on Pod Van Dam. But we got this show and little peek behind the curtain. We are recording on Monday night, and as of this moment, there are only 6 matches announced. Actually, within the past hour, the 6th match was announced. So this is all we got. I tried to get other matches, got no reply, as I'm used to. So we're just going to give you these 6. I'm going to guess there's got to be a Dom match in there because of the 6 matches announced. Dom is not in any of them, and he's on the main poster. So he's fitting in somewhere, just not sure where yet. As you're listening, you probably already know. In hell.
And I'm sure the tag team champions will be there. The Broskis 1 and 2. I'm sure the Bitcoin boys will be there with the Duke, who's probably going to get slapped by Dr. D. If anything goes as, it usually does. So, we're going to have all your names that you love in AIW will probably be on the card. But we're going to talk about these 6 matches that we know about as of Monday night recording.
Here's the crazy thing. If we would have recorded last night, besides you being at a concert, we only would have had 4.
Yeah.
So definitely by the time this episode comes out, you will have the entire card, if not most of them. Like, no, sometimes we get a last match that'll get announced Thursday. So we will see. So kind of like normal format with these, and it's going to be much easier and probably a little bit shorter of a show because we only have the 6 matches. So going to do this in reverse order of the way they were announced. So we'll start with the one that they literally just announced before we started recording. Riley Rose versus Derek Dillinger with Ziggy Haim.
R.I.P. Riley.
I'm going to cut Riley a little bit of slack because I feel like we've said that a lot. And you know what? He's still surviving. So he's a fighter.
I don't know. He barely survived Jocelyn. He's barely survived a few other matches. He's hanging in there, but he's barely surviving. Derek Dillinger is a violent human being with Ziggy, who he likes to throw at people. I don't know. The numbers are not in his favor, and I don't know, man. I don't think he's got a good shot here. I'm sure I'll put up a good fight, but
what if
you got that production 1-2 punch is tough to beat.
What if it was just Ziggy versus Riley?
It's say that he has a slightly better chance, but not much still.
I mean, Ziggy's pretty dangerous.
She is. She's very violent. I mean, we saw that in the Bill Alfonso match. So
yeah, I don't know how Riley would be able to take 2 losses to 2 of the mainstay women in AIW in a short amount of time.
I mean, this is his first year in AIW. Well, this still technically his first year. Like, what, he debuted at, when did the other shows start? When did the
Go for Broke started? Beginning of April, I believe.
Okay, so he still hasn't even hit his full year in AIW yet, really. Or am I? No, that's a lie.
Kind of, sort of. It depends, because those were recorded, at least definitely the first episode was recorded like in advance.
Right.
So it's like he's past his first year, but we haven't got to like when that match was actually broadcast.
Okay.
So we're in like a weird middle ground, I would say. Like, I don't know what other people would say, whether they go, oh no, like we just go from the day it was recorded. But well, I would just safe to say this is the end of Riley Rose's first year in AIW, because by the next show, we're going to be into year 2 guaranteed.
Right.
And that's when Riley Rose will face Suzuki. That's the match.
You know what? Why not?
It's like he went through level 1. Now he's got to go up against the boss. Unfortunately,
It's Murder Grandpa. So have fun.
That's a pretty big boss. This should be a fun one. I don't want to give Riley Rose so much shit because I feel like it's been dished out a lot to him, whether it be on this show, at shows, or Jocelyn yelling from a balcony. But it'll at least be fun. Gotta love a good Derek Dillinger match. The production, yeah. We'll make our picks now. Gotta go Derek.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Derek as well.
Just realized this is RR versus DD. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Like I said, this was announced earlier today of this recording, and I was like, "Ooh, shit! I didn't expect this at all." Josh Prohibition versus Chase Oliver. Oh fuck!
Yeah, this Chase Oliver, he has been on a tear since he came back. He's been doing all this shit, and now he's going to go up against the AIW legend Josh Prohibition. And this is a really interesting matchup. When I saw this, I thought this is super interesting. This could be very different style of match for Chase, and I'm looking forward to see how he does against Josh. So
is Josh Prohibition our Murder Grandpa?
Oh, I wouldn't call him a grandpa. That's kind of mean, but I will call him the AIW legend.
Okay, maybe not. We won't go with grandpa. I mean, we know he's a dad, but his kids aren't that old yet. The murder uncle. I don't know. I love Josh Prohibition. When I first started watching local stuff, like he was literally in the first match I watched. And I mean, his dates, even within this past 10 years, have been very selective. And whenever he manages to have an AIW match, they're important. Whether he's like putting over newer talent or whatever, even like making that return to AIW at Hell on Earth, which I know disappointed a lot of people, but it fit.
I mean, at this point, it's, we're removed quite a few months. It is whatever. Like, I know that they had hopes that he may be a challenger for Broski's titles. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that rolled out the way they wanted to. I know he still dealing with injuries. He comes back, does this kind of thing. So we'll see where he's at this week. If he makes it through a chase and he's still able to go, maybe we'll see him challenge for the AIW titles here soon.
I mean, coming from the last match even to this one, you got two competitors that, if that Intense title was a thing on its own, and that's something we've talked about for a while, is like, Derek and Chase are like two contenders for those titles, or that title if it was being defended on its own.
And there's another match on this card that makes me wish the Intense title was on another human being, because on its own, holy fuck, but under Intense rules, we'll get there later. Yeah,
I know what you're saying. I wouldn't say that you would wish it's on another human being. Let's just say, because really what the fact of the matter is the fact that these titles have been linked for a couple years.
Right.
And
thanks to COVID. Fucking COVID.
For as long as they have been, yes. But these were linked pre-COVID. So obviously, or potentially I should say, because it's not obvious, but potentially if COVID never happened, the titles would be they'd be separate by now. I could at least say that.
Potentially, I guess.
Yeah.
This was,
It was one of those things that, I mean, God, speaking of Hell on Earth, like on that Hell on Earth, when fucking Justice came out and cashed in right after Bishop won, like that was great. That was fucking so much fun.
Yeah, that was very memorable.
And like coming from like their feud that they were having earlier in the year and everything, like, so yeah, like it made so much sense that then unfortunately COVID happened, derailed wherever we were going with it and everything. And now the titles are still unified. And I mean, I don't want to, beat a dead horse here, but hopefully by the end of the year, this isn't a conversation we're having. And like, we're talking about the December show and we're like, yeah, so-and-so for the absolute title. And then this person is the Intense champion.
Hopefully they get split somehow.
But this is another test match for Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Like, since coming back, he's had a lot of like these high profile matches, whether it be his opponent or just being put in a nice scramble or a 4-way. Like, dude's been killing it. And having this as the Akron show, I'm fucking for it. But who are you picking?
I'm going to go with Chase. No pressure, Chase.
I'm going to go Chase too. But the thing is, I don't know what Josh Prohibition we're seeing. Josh Prohibition could be a good bad guy. And that's always a fun J-Pro to see. But I guess we'll see this Saturday. Let's move on to the next one. Katie Arquette getting to move to the next level of AIW shows at the Tadmor Shrine, going up against Jocelyn Navarro. And I don't necessarily have to look it up. I'm pretty sure these two are very familiar with each other, both wrestling in this area over the past handful of years. Just obviously not crossing paths here. What were your thoughts on Katie Arquette?
The match she had at the Winchester probably wasn't her best showing for a debut. So I kind of question why this was happening on a main card match, but at the same time, you got to realize like there's really the division is cleaned out by Jocelyn. So she's going to, get a match where she can and show off where she can. So, I mean, I'd like to see. I'm intrigued in this match because I feel like, okay, you had your debut. It was less than stellar. Here's your chance to redeem yourself going up against our top women's wrestler. So it's definitely interesting to see how she does up against Jocelyn. And if we get a repeat of the the Winchester, or if we see something more effective out of her and she finds a way to pick up a victory over Jocelyn.
I'm still kind of upset we never got that Dave Arquette appearance at AIW.
I know, dude. This is a very big bummer. Like, it's one of the ones like I really wished we could have got because I always liked Dave Arquette. So
I think about that every so once in a while. And even like, I still got to watch the documentary about that return and everything.
It was good.
But I remember,
I just wanted a mark pick with, my favorite character from Scream. That's all I wanted.
I wanted a mark pick from my favorite character from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
Oh, so you want a mark pick with Pee Wee Herman?
No, Ben Affleck.
Affleck was the bomb in Phantom, Joe.
Seriously, I just watched that over the weekend for the first time. Not Phantoms, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Really?
Yeah. Never watched the movie because I knew it wasn't like the TV show, so I never gave it the time of day.
Oh, the movie was so good.
I liked how the TV show and the movie are like pretty much totally different.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing about the movie that I was like, you know what? I like how the TV show did it better. And I think I know why it was done this way. When Buffy kills vampires, I like how they like turn into dust. But I was thinking like, oh yeah, because probably can't have like stabbing all these people on TV.
Right.
So you need to have like that effect to where it's not the same thing. But I mean, to me, I'm like, that was minor. It was still like fun to watch. And obviously Paul Rubens was great in it. And literally like I knew he was in it. I knew Dave Arquette was in it. And then watching it, literally when you see this basketball player and it's fucking Ben Affleck, I'm like, no fucking way. And turns out that's one of his uncredited roles. Like obviously, it's him. You go to his IMDb, but if you read the credits, he's not in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I think about how we totally fucking missed out on that.
Back to this match.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Justin.
I like Katie. She's no Jocelyn. I'm purely going to be hardcore biased when it comes to Jocelyn, but I do like this is definitely a little bit more depth to the division. She is getting a second match after a Winchester show. And, she's somebody who's not that far away.
Right.
So it makes it like when we have other female wrestlers come in, it's not like, all right, it's always going to be Jocelyn. I throw Ziggy in there, but Ziggy doesn't get a lot of, women's matches. Yeah,
she's more a manager / tag team partner. She doesn't really do the singles thing, which is fine.
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Any way to mix up the women's division, I'm totally for. But yeah, I gotta pick Jocelyn Navarro. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go Jocelyn as well.
Okay.
I think we're gonna be on the same page with a lot of these matches.
Probably except the main event.
Probably.
We'll see. All right, let's move on to the next one. Here's a match that when it was announced, everybody got fucking pumped. Unless you're on the AIW comment section and for this fucking match and you want to go punch some people, which this isn't a threat, but we know what your face looks like and you posted that shit. So don't be stupid. Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So, all right.
We'll basically go to AIW's Facebook page, pull up the post for this match. You might have to like hit the thing where like it shows all comments and read some of them. Like there's like two in particular. I think one guy A tags guy B. Guy B makes a totally different comment instead of like commenting from the where he was tagged and says something stupid. Granted, it's not like offensive, but we know who to keep an eye on, because if you're saying that on Facebook, you might say even some more shit in person. But anyway, the match in question is Isaiah Broner versus Kaplan. And I have crowned this the winner goes up against Suzuki match. Because
Please show up and say something stupid. Please. Please.
Okay, you've read it. I don't know why you would fucking.
I will buy you a ticket to the show for you to come say something stupid. I will buy your ticket for you. Hit me up.
You didn't even buy your ticket.
I know. And that's why I said I'd buy his, just because I want to see him get destroyed.
Actually, I didn't even buy your ticket.
God damn it, Summers. I better have a ticket when I get there Saturday. I'm going to be pissed.
We are going to pull a Pod Van Dam, and I'm going to buy it live on the, well, not live, but like while we record. Here's the thing. I was trying to buy them last night, buy your ticket. And basically the system kind of glitched on me, and I forgot about it. So pulling up AIW, pulling up the doctor is in, hitting on tickets. It is loading. Okay. What row did you want?
Fourth row.
Okay, here's the fun thing. That's what I went to go buy last night.
Okay.
And there was only one available.
That's what it says right now, too, yeah.
Yeah, as of right now, it says one available. I went to go buy that one, and it had some, like I said, when I say it glitched out on me, like it was having trouble loading it after I hit one and tried to like buy it. And then when I went back, it showed me the same screen and then said fourth row ringside, one available. But then like on the side, it said unavailable. Like where if you go down, like where the it says front row ringside sold out, like where it says sold out, it said unavailable. I'm like, it says you have one available. How are you unavailable?
Right.
Because I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. Charlie wants a fourth row seat and there's one available. And I didn't fuck up. And then I go to buy it. It's like, nope, I don't know what you're doing. Oh, I had an issue. Can't load. Okay, I'm going to try to order it now. Okay, it hasn't fucked up on me yet. Got to go through the PayPal checkout. I think this is where it fucked me. It was having trouble loading PayPal. Putting in my PayPal password. Hitting log in. Hitting pay now. Processing. Order complete. Somehow I'm going to be sitting in the front row and the fourth row.
Good.
There's a fat joke in there somewhere. I know where it's at, but I'm just not saying it. But okay, now you have your ticket. That I should have bought. That I should have bought like two weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like literally, I was sitting like laying in bed. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't buy it. Like, let me go right now. I saw the one available, and I was like, yeah, like I said, perfect. And when it did that, and then it showed me unavailable, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And it was like, I think you would have been up because you were at the Tool concert. Because I think it was like midnight, 1 o'clock. So, yep, okay. Going back to this match that we have not touched on, like at all. Isaiah Broner versus Kaplan. In the what I have dubbed winner goes up against Suzuki match. How you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I totally feel that vibe too. I don't know if that'll be the case though. It might be the loser faces Suzuki.
Yeah, that could be what it is. Because I mean, if you're going up against Suzuki, did you win or did you lose?
Right.
But fuck, this is gonna be a good one. We got the only blemish on Isaiah Broner's record in IW, if I'm correct, is Kaplan.
Correct.
So this is Broner's chance at redemption. And
correct.
How big of a mess will they create, and how many weird looks will the Shriners give to everybody because of this match?
There's a reason why I'm sitting fourth row. Here you go.
You almost had a third row seat.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I would have probably just went with GA and just sat in the bleachers. That'd have been fine. There's not a bad seat in that entire fucking building, so that's why I'm going fourth. Because there's literally not a bad seat in that entire building. I'm
just a psycho in like first row. Like anytime I've had to get second row or something else, I like don't like it. Kind of.
Yeah, I got first row for Suzuki. I got first row for Gauntlet. I'm usually a first row guy too, but sometimes you just change it up a little bit.
That Gauntlet investment ticket that.
Yeah. Just got renewed here on Sunday. So
I just last night took off the original Odeon ticket out of my wallet, like the wallet on my phone, because obviously it's not an actual ticket, but
right.
Because I've left it in there, but since the venues changed and everything, like it's technically like 100% different ticket. So I was like, all right, time to get rid of this one. But and here's the fun thing of, we'll get back to this match, but this podcast is going to be covering AIW for like the next month because how many shows we have coming up like in a row.
Let's see, we're in March. So we got this one, then we got Suzuki, then we got Big Starks, day after Suzuki.
But we're not.
Then
we're not covering that on the show.
Oh, we might. Never know. Might need a week there. I don't know. You've already probably planned it all out, so we probably aren't. But
yep.
And then you got the May 5th show, and then you got Gauntlet. So
the first 2 weeks of April, I don't have anything planned yet. Those got to get filled in, and then Suzuki preview, Suzuki review, Winchester preview, Winchester review, Gauntlet preview, Gauntlet review. That'll take us to the beginning of June, where I then have like 2 weeks open. And then next week's episode will come out on my birthday. But yeah, a lot of AIW to go over, blessing and a curse. So
hopefully I'm not the only one reviewing them with you.
I put this because I want to say I don't want it to be like I don't want you here, but you are Mr. Dependable, and everybody's schedule or availability right now is a little off. I do want to be able to get Ed on here soon, because now with the changes for the Pod Van Dam recording schedule, I might be able to work that out. So
yeah, we actually got him for IWTV Guide next week. So when he is going to try to tank our ratings, which doesn't take much. So
I'll just have me come on and do a solo episode on IWTV Guide. That'll do it. Yeah, I'll have him on soon, but gotta give the respect to Kaplan and Broner.
It's going to be a war. They're going to sell you the whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge for it. Probably because you're going to have to move quickly when they brawl into the crowd. Here's a bet. Do you think Broner gets Kaplan up for the F5?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think I'm allowed to doubt Isaiah Broner's strength. It's like that, like by proxy of like how we support Jocelyn. So it's kind of like we also support Broner.
Broner picked up Twan like he wasn't very much. So, I mean, I definitely could see him picking up Kaplan, potentially.
Here's the thing about Broner, too. Kind of like going back to what we were saying about Riley Rose. We're not to the end of Broner's first year in AIW. Like, he's had a lot of experience outside of AIW. But here in this short amount of time, he's done some damage. And, like, he's not done. And if, he beats Kaplan, what's next for him? Same time for Kaplan. Same thing for Kaplan, though, is, he's the face on that Gauntlet poster. Why?
I wouldn't say why. I mean, there's a clear reason why he's on the Gauntlet poster.
Besides that, he looks cool. Because he does. I'm not knocking it, because he does look cool.
I think that, with Gauntlet, there's a handful of people you could say could potentially win this year. I know we did our picks at the beginning of the year, but you got guys that'll probably be in it, like Bishop, like Wes Barkley, like Broner, like Kaplan. I mean, there's 4 right there that, if you told me they won the Gauntlet for this year, I would not be surprised. So I think that, there's something there with that.
I can't believe you left out Marion Fontaine as a possible winner.
I mean, he's had how many tries and has not won yet? I don't think he's gonna win on his 15th.
That's called experience, sir. Experience. Some say you can't teach that. They would be true, but that doesn't make it any less true for Marion Fontaine. Back to Broner.
What if we get a standoff between Broner and Marion Fontaine in the Gauntlet? That'd be great.
I will pray for Marion Fontaine. I will pray for the future of old wrestling, because I don't want Broner to kill him. It's a possibility, but I don't want it to happen. If you want to talk about a hypothetical, I don't know if we would actually see it, but we are playing a hypothetical. What if after this match, maybe not right after, say a couple months down the line, what if Broner and Kaplan just start teaming up? Imagine that as a tag team.
I feel bad for the tag division if they did that.
PME better relinquish those titles now.
Just be called a team called Death. That's what their name would be.
Yeah, that it'd be some real violence. Between these two, who do you got?
Oh, man. I'm looking for a coin to flip. All right. Heads, Kaplan, tails, Broner.
Am I calling it or you? Oh, no.
Tails. It's tails. So I'm going to go Broner.
Yeah, I'm going to go Broner too. I didn't have to flip a coin, but tough. Tough pick, because even, like, it's not taking anything away from Kaplan. Kaplan's, well, we talk about a fucking year, like the killer year he's had since Go for Broke. Let's move on to the next match. 2.0 versus To Infinity and Beyond. The two new members of the Jericho Appreciation Society. That the name?
Yeah.
I said it on Twitter, but I'm happy my middle name begins with an R and not an A, because I don't want to share the same initials. How you feeling about this match? I know you like 2.0.
I mean, this is going to be an exciting tag team match. This is going to be prime tag team wrestling that we're going to get to see from these two teams. I'm sure Orange Flaccidy will be in attendance, cheering on his soulmate Colin, and yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. To Infinity and Beyond is the one of the top tag teams of AIW over the past 5 years. 2.0, I don't want to say they're not one of the best tag teams like in all of wrestling, but pretty relevant right now, number one. And I feel like ever since they were in NXT, like they were trying to build something, but it just wasn't working, and then they just did stuff on their own, and now they're where they at now. And they're getting a proper spotlight on them. Them coming here for this match, I think it's gonna be fun. Sadly, that's kind of all I got. Who do you got winning?
I mean, To Infinity and Beyond used to, that used to be the meme, the joke, but they've lost quite a bit lately. So I'm gonna go with 2.0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2.0 too. I almost went with To Infinity and Beyond, but I just don't see 2.0 losing. Oh.
It'd be a big surprise, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's not an upset. It would just be a surprise. Let's put it that way.
All right, let's move on to the main event. The Rip City Shooters, Josh Bishop and Wes Barkley versus the Major Players, the Michael Jordan of wrestling figure collecting, the NWA champion, the Impact Digital Media champion, the Internet champion, the AIW Absolute and Intense champion, Matt Cardona, and the Scottie Pippen of wrestling figure collecting, and the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers.
So, I mean, this feud's been going on for a hot minute. This is just another chapter in that feud. You have, the two top names in the Toy Dorks, and then you have Bishop and the one and only Wes Barkley, who just competed in the Crockett Cup and looked like $1 million. And yeah, so I mean, I definitely think that this is going to be a very wild, probably main event. I'm probably going to say it's going to be the main event. Obviously, you got your champ in there. So if the other two broskies don't get involved, I definitely see Rip City taking home the dub. But as we know, where one goes, many others of the broski clique or whatever they're called now. So who knows how many people are going to show up and who knows what's going to happen.
I would call them the Major Problem as a whole.
I don't know. That kind of takes away from Isaiah Broner being called the problem, because he is the problem. He could wipe out all of them by himself, but he just hasn't been targeted towards them yet.
I don't think he's the only person going by the problem right now.
Well, in AIW, it is Isaiah Broner.
I was more referring to them being a major problem of having Cardona, Myers. We saw Chelsea interfere. Then you have PME. Who knows who? Fucking VSK could pop up. He's related to all that. Oh, what if Nick Stapp, CPA, comes back? He helps Broski.
No, thank you to all of those. We already have Chelsea. We already have Broski 1 and 2, and we have Brian Myers. We don't need any more. We're good.
The question wasn't, do you want to see it happen? It was, what if?
Well, you what if in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first.
I don't know. I haven't watched that series of Marvel yet.
Spoiler alert. Everything can be solved by Captain Marvel. So
not like you've told me that 20 times already.
Spoiler alert for everybody else that hasn't watched it. Everything can be solved by Captain Marvel. She just the be-all, end-all savior of everything right now.
But you talk about how the shooters looked at the Crockett Cup. I mean, you got the NWA champion, Matt Cardona. I hope he brings the belt with him.
A lot of people have been saying that.
I'm curious, is there anybody out there that wouldn't normally get a picture with Cardona, would get one with him if they could hold the NWA title?
I would get a picture of myself with the NWA title without Cardona in it before I'd get one with him in it with the belt. So
yeah, but you can crop him out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I still wouldn't want him in there knowing, like, I wouldn't want him to know that I would tell him in advance, I don't want you in this photo. I just want the belt. Because that's how I roll.
You don't want to get a photo of you trying to take the title from him?
No, because I don't, I'm not in a fun mood with him. Whereas I love AC Mack. So, and him and I get along well. So
how could you not like Cardona? He's our champion. Champions.
I'm allowed to not like who I'd not like. Okay. You leave me alone.
That's, Mr. Cardona. You got to show the man respect.
Oh God, please stop. Keep it up, and I'm never going to do this podcast again.
He's an ECW.
Mr. Reliable will become no until Cardona is not the champion anymore.
He's an ECW original.
I'm hanging up now. Goodbye.
Can't forget Brian Myers though, as
the most professional wrestler.
As a lot of people will talk shit on him for being affiliated with Cardona. I always say, like, when it at least comes down to it, like, Myers is pretty good, fucking good in the ring. Like, I still love his match with Bishop.
He does nothing for me, but I mean, he's a good hand, but it just doesn't do anything for me. So it is what it is.
Okay, Vince. Pal.
Put him under a mask. Might do something for me.
Who do you got?
Rip City. I mean, I was just hanging out with the Rip City pharmacist, so I'm gonna go with Rip City, obviously.
Well, since I just got mail from Dylan Postos, does that mean I have to pick the major players?
Yes. Well, we know you're going to pick them anyway. It's fine.
I'm picking the Rip City Shooters. Liar. No, I'm picking the Rip City Shooters. Because we just seen Cardona win the last Odeon show, and the last time they were in Akron, he won. Do you
think he's gonna end that streak, and they're gonna get a tag team win over him?
Yeah, it's not for the titles.
Now, what if they decide to try to get them to put the titles on the line?
Yeah, that's not how it works.
You never know. Crazier stuff has happened in AIW.
Hey, you never know means I ain't got shit, but I'm going to just say that. It's not fucking happening.
Okay.
There's also the fact of Cardona's not the one that has to lose. It could be Brian Myers.
But Brian Myers already just lost to Josh, so he's going to lose twice?
It could be Wes beating Brian Myers. Why does it have to be Bishop?
Because Bishop is bigger.
Bigger than who?
Wes.
You're saying Wes can't get wins?
Don't put words in my mouth. I just said that one of them is bigger. So,
well, why? I said, why can't Wes be the one that gets the win?
Because Josh is bigger.
Those aren't connected.
Well, that's Josh, my reason. I'm allowed to have that reasoning.
Josh can be bigger. Josh can be bigger and out of the ring while Wes is getting the victory.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's not how that works. You asked me for my reasoning. I told you why my reasoning. Now you're arguing with my reasoning. My reasoning is because Josh is bigger. That's it. That's the reasoning.
That's not reasoning. That's just bullshit.
Hey, I'm allowed to have my reasoning. That's my reasoning.
It's like saying 2 + 2 is Jell-O.
I mean, hey, New York is on the East Coast because canaries are yellow. So it is what it is.
But no, I'm picking the Shooters. For this to go on longer, which obviously it will because the titles are on the line. I would figure you got to have the Shooters win, because if they don't win and it's just Cardona and Myers standing tall, what's the point?
What's the point been for the last 5 months? It's a movie, man. It's a movie.
Yeah. And you already left the theater.
Yep. I'm good. The concert, I'm leaving during the final song to beat traffic.
Yeah, but it's Tool, so that last song was what, 15 minutes?
Probably.
Any idea if they did an encore?
No, they did the same set pretty much everywhere.
Okay.
Even though he's from Akron.
Ravenna.
He said Akron at the show.
I wonder if he said it because less people know where fucking Ravenna is.
I have no idea.
Like when people ask me where I'm from, depending on like whoever I'm talking to is at, I'll either say Akron or Cleveland. Because if I said Rootstown, people go, well, where? Though I've been wrong. Because of the fucking Dusty, there's people out there in random places that know Rootstown. So I'd figure if he said Ravenna.
I don't know. He said Akron. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I understand what he said, but I know he's from Ravenna.
Well, he's bigger, and that's what he said, so that's the logic.
Okay. I've known people that saw him in Kent, and he talked about being from Ravenna.
I don't know what to tell you.
But he left Northeast.
Tell you, Summers.
He left Northeast Ohio a long time ago.
Yeah, and lives in Arizona. I know. Got it. We're good. We done here. We done here now.
I don't know. Do we get any more matches?
No.
Oh, I thought I did. I had a message on Messenger, but it was PayPal for buying your ticket. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Any final thoughts or last minute plugs before we go?
Check out my other podcast, If You Catch My Grift. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/If You Catch My Grift. We have a $5 tier. They get you access to episodes early, a bunch of additional content, including Adult Tales. If you don't know what that is, come listen to the podcast. You'll figure it out pretty quickly. Also, we have a shirt available right now at ifyoucatchmygrift.bigcartel.com. All proceeds are going to Equality Texas to help trans kids in Texas with all the bullshit going on down there. Pre-orders are up on that until April 1st. I believe we have sizes up to 5X on that. The shirt's really freaking cool. We got lots of pre-orders on that. So, if want to help fight the good fight, go buy one of those. Also check out IWTV Guide. They've been doing all kinds of cool stuff over there. You got Marcy, you got Jay Gold, and you got Jay Hawk. Just talking about a lot of the more recent wrestling in, what's been going on IWTV. They review a show every week. They talk about, they have a wrestler spotlight that they try to spotlight, up and coming independent wrestlers. They tell you what's on IWTV for the week. So you can kind of get an idea of, hey, maybe I should check this out, or, try to plan your week, if you want to watch some independent wrestling. And that's all I got. My Twitter is Charly_Butters, and, have a good one, everybody.
You're not allowed to plug IWTV Guide because, that's our nemesis. We're enemies, even though I helped create the fucking show.
Right. Yeah, we're arch nemesis now.
I literally stole the idea from somebody else.
Yep.
But, of course, you can find myself at jsummers330 on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, but you can find the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com, and we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said earlier in the show, please rate, review, and subscribe your ever listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com, and all of those links, social media, as well as all the places you can listen to us, can be found at our link tree, which is in the show notes. Be sure to check out our friends on the Trending Topics Network, such as All Beer Inside, Eurovision Showcase, and the Spanish Announce Table. Check out our other podcast friends, such as Pod Van Dam, the Super Fantastic Podcast, It's Evolution Baby, the IndieCast, Sobros Network, Biff Radio, Game Marks Podcast, Powerbomb Jitsu, Spotlight Series, Fully Posable, Doing the Favor, Positively Pro Wrestling, IWTV Guide, If You Catch My Grift, At Odds with Wrestling, Marks with Mics, This Ends at Prom, and Porch Talk. And check out our other non-podcasting friends, such as Thrift Store Jobber, The Savage Stash, The Mystery Men, Redline Radio, Mouse's Wrestling Adventures, VHS Party Tonight on Instagram, Heart of Gold, Toy Hio Toy Show, Time Capsule Toys, Stay Tough, Smoke and Jay's Barbecue, JCP Designs, Midwest Territory, Southern Underground Pro, and the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, and it doesn't matter if Josh Bishop is bigger than Wes Barkley. Later.
It's the wrestling cheers. Get up on your feet, brightening your day in the middle of the week. And you gotta love the show. Yeah, you know it holds a title for the best podcast. Talking wrestling in Ohio. Finishing a cold one, take a load off. We ain't all about the prohibition like Josh, so we cheers. And then we sit back. Other shows are in the trash, kinda like they Nick Stapp. Like the name is Matt Justice, wearing all the gold. Wrestling Cheers is coming to a close. The #1 podcast going in the game. And one day everybody's gonna know the name. It's the Wrestling Cheers. This is Platinum Max, signing off. Ohio, good night. The world, good night. We love you. We'll see you next week.